Hey, did you miss me? I am so tired. I'm so tired right now, but I can't sleep, so I decided to finally film this video as I brush my hair. You see this lighting? It's literally the daytime. It's literally the daytime as I'm filming this. You might even hear the birds singing in the background. I have been a mess, as you can tell. Lately, I have been a mess for several months now. However, I decided today to be productive because I'm still awake. So, few things. I'm gonna brush my hair, right? Before I even get into the story time that I'm gonna tell you, I cut my hair recently and I don't like it. I'm gonna recut it hopefully today or maybe tomorrow. Haven't decided yet, but I really don't like it. I really don't like it at all. I thought I wanted like disconnected layers. It doesn't work with my hair type. Anyway, so I was gonna say her real name. You can also hear my dog. Ignore that. What should we name her? We're gonna call her Barbie. We're gonna call her Barbie. I had a different name for her before. I don't know if I've ever mentioned her in my story times, but if I have, I definitely had a different name for her. She's gonna now be Barbie. Anyway, I met Barbie when? Like junior year of high school, I think. Was it? No. I met Barbie my senior year of high school. I knew a lot of people my senior year. Anyway, me and Barbie go way back. So Barbie ended up... I lied. I did meet Barbie my junior year. Sorry. Barbie ended up doing a play, and that's how I met her, because she was doing the play that I was working on. And I really should have some water with this, but I don't know where my spray thing is right now. Oh, it's over there. I'm not gonna get it. It'll be fine. Yeah, so met her way back when, and then the following year I got to know her a little bit better because she ended up being in a show that I was actually acting in. So during that time, me and Barbie started kind of becoming like friendly, which we had to do. Our director kind of told us we had to become like friendly because I was friends with because we were playing like these friends in a friend group. I was friends with the other girls in the group, but I didn't really know her. And then we had a sleepover at her house, and she had never had a sleepover before, so that was like really interesting. We really got to know each other a lot. During that sleepover. And actually she ended up confessing to me a little bit later that I was really scary. And she thought like I hated her. Like those were just the vibes that I gave. Like I was just, and that's true. In high school, particularly my junior and senior year, I know for sure, I was very scary. I'm very unapproachable in general. So I just know, based on multiple people telling me that I was scary. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, people just were afraid of me for a multitude of reasons. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, throughout a majority of my life, I've had people tell me that, or I've heard people confess it to other people, or those are the people who told me that someone else told them that I just come off really scary, that I'm unapproachable, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I had a whole nice girl era. I don't know if I ever told that story of my nice girl era, but I almost died. Okay, I say that. I mean, I could have died if the people that I were around were worse people. I would have died. Anyway, if I haven't told that, I'll probably tell that next or something. Anyway, so now, Barbie is opening up to me. First, like, she even telling me about, like, all these hickeys she has, and she's like, yeah, I had to cover them up this morning because, she was scared the director was gonna get mad at her, and she's like, but then my costume actually covers it, so it's fine. And I thought it was really weird because I was like, oh, we are not cool like that. But I was still open to it. Like, I'm the type of person that, like, if you're open with me, I am more inclined to be open with you. So, like, okay, obviously she wants to be, like, my friend for real. Not just for the show. So then we were kind of like, you know, like being cool, whatever. And I was actually really close with her bestie, which is really funny because me and her bestie did not get along at first, which is a different story. My chair is squeaking. Anyway, so I fast forward. I end up like still not spending a lot of time with her, you know, but I have a birthday party. And of course I invited her bestie because her bestie was like my friend. And then she was like, hey, can I bring Barbie? And I was like, sure, because like me and Barbie were cool, you know? And then Barbie shows up, she brings like a bottle and she's like, really cool and whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. Cool. She makes me my first drink of the night and she's like, she made that thing strong. She made that thing strong and she lied to me, which honestly, that's important. Not specifically that she made my drink strong, but the fact that she lied to me. Remember that. So, I'm like drinking this and I'm like, this thing is strong, right? We have a good night, whatever. And then I keep thinking like, because she's like, oh, I didn't even make it strong. Like, I made it the way like I make mine. And she's like, and I don't really drink. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just tripping. No, that thing was strong. And so fast forward to the night, there was like a part where my friend like ended up taking off his shirt. At first, he was like, should I take off my shirt? Everybody said no. I turn around, and then she comes around the corner, because she ended up taking a nap. And everyone's kind of winding down already, like, gonna, like, sleep. She comes on, and she's like, blah, blah, my friend. We're actually still friends. Put on your shirt, that's disgusting. I turn around, and this man took off his shirt. He put it back on. And in that moment, I was like, I want to be this girl's friend. Because she knows how to say what needs to be said. Debatable now. But, so then that happened, right? And then me, her, and her bestie become like a little trio, and I started getting really, really, like, close to this trio. Like, I started spending more time in this trio because my original friend group, I was feeling real pushed out. And I think I even uploaded a video, like, this is literally forever ago, right? Because one of them, like, my friend, she was not treating me like a friend. She was being very, very rude to me. And nobody would say anything, so I was just like, am I just, like, hallucinating? Is that not rude? I know this better now, but back then I was younger. Because I talk loud, okay? I do talk loud, and I love to talk. And she's the type that likes to quiet. So she would literally tell me to shut up. And nobody would say anything. Nobody would say a thing. She'd say I'm too loud. She'd tell me to shut up. She'd tell me I can't stop talking. That's rude. That's hella rude. Like, I still can't believe that my friends didn't even try and defuse the situation. They just all go quiet. And so I was like, this is my friend. I'm not about to fight her, you know? But I should have. Anyway. That's a different story. So, now that I'm closer to this trio, I would even send screenshots from that group chat, exiting out everybody's name and like because of how they would react to what I said. Usually it'd be that girl. She would react to what I said in a rude way, and then nobody says nothing, and I'm like, do you all just hate me? So then I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. So I would send screenshots, and I'd be like, okay, is what I said wrong? Like, be genuine, because I don't understand this reaction. And they're like, hell no. What is that? So now I'm spending more time with this trio. Well, her bestie ends up moving. And so me and her start getting closer because she has a vacancy now.
This actually isn't entirely true. I somehow forgot while I was telling this story that she actually ended up joining me and my best friend at the time, and we became a trio. And then me and her both fell out with my that other best friend, and we became a duo again. That's a different story.
Me and her start getting closer, and we start becoming those types of friends that like run errands together. Like she would come over to my house all the time. Come over to my house all the time, and we even like we became like did become best friends. Like I say that honestly, we did become best friends, and there was a point even when we were literally planning a trip to Paris, like genuine, like budgeting it out and everything, and then we and then we obviously didn't end up going, but we like budgeted it and everything, right? I thought we were really good friends, and then our friendship hit a point where I would never see her. And you know, the type of friend that I am, like I don't have to see you often. I am, however, a bad texter. And by that I mean you won't get a lot out of me when texting. Like I prefer to talk in person. Even over the phone is a little bit weird. Like I can do voice messages and like calls every now and again, but like I don't do like video calls. Um but like in person I'll talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So I started not seeing her as often, and she's always busy, right? She keeps telling me she's busy, and I'm like, okay, cool, you know, like whatever, like I totally get that. And then when I do see her, she's telling me about all these things she did with other people. I thought you were busy. If I'm your best friend, why are you hanging out with other people when you're telling me that you're busy? Like you can't hang out with me. That's weird, right? Well, whenever we would hang out and she would cancel, whoo, she had a love for canceling apparently. She would say, you know, whatever excuse it was, and it would always be pretty bad, like, oh, you know, my family got in a really big fight, because she would be like the family mediator pretty much, because I guess her dad has a really bad temper. I don't remember if I ever witnessed this. I might have blocked it out, to be honest, but I believe her. Okay, I believe that. However, sometimes she would lie and say her grandma was in the hospital, her cousin was in the hospital, her mom was in the hospital, her sister was in the hospital, yada yada yada, someone was in the hospital. And you know, totally plausible. However, I watched her several times lie and tell other people the same thing. Because she didn't want to do whatever they were doing, she didn't want to go into work, da 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 da. So remember how I told you to remember that one of the first times I really got to know her, she lied to me? Because she later, because I kept bringing up how strong the drink was, and I was like, am I just a lightweight? And then she finally confessed that she did, in fact, make that drink strong. There was no reason to lie about that. There was no reason to lie about that, but she lied. She had a habit of doing that, actually. Instead of telling me, like, oh, I don't want to go out today, or something like that, or I completely forgot about our plans that we made, she would just lie. And most of the time I didn't have proof, I'll be honest, but I don't know if you've ever had that feeling that someone is lying to you, and it's not anxiety, it's not paranoia, it's genuine intuition. I got that a lot. So, her being my bestie, I just let that subside. I literally always let it slide. And it got to the point where I didn't see her often at all. I didn't see her at all, and not only was I not seeing her, she also just wasn't messaging me. I'd send her messages and she wouldn't message me back. So during this time, I got a boyfriend, And I am the type of person that like kind of hyper focuses on a person, I guess. Well, I wouldn't even say hyper focus. It's just a regular focus in my opinion. And so, since my bestie wasn't giving me any attention, I would spend more time with my boyfriend. And I would talk to my boyfriend more because he's obviously responding to me. He's talking to me. And oh, before I got this boyfriend, actually, I skipped over a part of the story. There was a point where Barbie wanted to throw a Halloween party, and I was like, dope, okay, cool. We didn't go 50-50 on the party, I'll be honest, but I did put in money that I did not see back. Not only did I not see it back, I also didn't get the items back, like all of them. There's this punch bowl that I really loved, and she knew I really loved it, and I still don't have that back. I'm kind of sad about that still. Anyway, so she threw this Halloween party, and her house is packed. House is jumping. And she said, oh my gosh, there's so many people here. And I was like, well, why did you invite so many people? She's like, well, I didn't think everyone would come. Okay, so you weren't prepared for everyone to show up, but you still invited everyone. So you're dumb. Noted. So then, she's like, I don't want anybody to sleep over. You're throwing a Halloween party with alcohol. How do you think no one's gonna sleep over? And then she's like, I don't want anybody to like make a mess and whatever. And I'm like, you're throwing a Halloween party with alcohol. How are you not expecting any mess? Like, she's dumb. And then, I was staying at her house that time, and she lived in like a house with the other roommates and whatever, right? So, my ex, who at the time was my friend, that we were like flirty, whatever. How do I explain this? He had to go to work after the party, right? And he's like, I'll come back in the morning. And I was like, oh, well, this is not my house, like, we have to ask her. And she was standing right there. So Barbie says, yeah, you can come back in the morning. And I said, cool, okay. She could have said no. She could have even pulled me aside later and said, yeah, no, I was just being polite. She did that a lot, where she would be polite. She's the type to tell someone, like, anything you need, just give me a call. And then the person calls her, and she makes them a liar, but she can't help them. She's the type to tell you, I'll help you move, and then you call her to help you move, and she makes up a reason to not help you. And thinks you're rude for even asking. Yeah, she's that type. Hate those people. So, she says he can come. And, so cool. He shows up next morning, right? I go and let him in. And then she tells me later that her boyfriend at the time got upset because actually this whole Halloween party is a much bigger story. I might just do another video on. But anyway, he didn't like this guy, right? Her boyfriend didn't like this guy, which is funny. He threatened to pull a gun on him. Anyway, and she's telling me this, right? And that her boyfriend was like, I know he's here. And she's like, who? And she's like, I know he's here. And she's like, who is here? And this is early in the morning, right? And that he was like real upset about it. And he felt really offended because, I mean, it was technically like his house. So I get why he felt offended. However, the way that my bestie at the time was explaining things was that it was like a 50-50 situation. Like, she actually managed the house and he made sure all the bills were paid. Even though it was like a roommate situation, they were like head of house pretty much. So she's telling me this and I'm looking at her like, what are you talking about? And she's like, and then I found out that I almost said his name, the guy that I liked at the time was there. And I was looking at her like, okay. And that, this is all stuff she's telling me too. Like, why are you confessing this to me? Why are you like, she's not even like, I'm so sorry I said this and this. It's just, she's just telling me things. And I guess she just forgot what she told me prior. Like, I don't understand her thought process on a lot of this stuff. Because, so anyway, so then she's like, that's weird because I told so-and-so to lock the door. Knowing that I didn't know how to unlock the door. And it's actually true. I didn't know how to unlock her door, but for some reason, this day, I was able to unlock it. I call that fate, and I also think it's funny. But she, instead of just telling me, or saying, instead of just saying no, okay, when he asked, and instead of pulling me aside later, or even just texting me like, hey, yeah, no, she decided to corroborate this plan that to have the door locked so that I just couldn't let him in. Now, friend, that sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot to do, rather than just tell me how it is. And then I would have, like, honestly, and I don't even think she thought about this, I would have felt guilty about having him be at the party, because I think he just drove in because he was out of town. So drive in, be at the party, go to work, and then drive back to that house, only to be left outside. Because I can't even go outside, like we can't even go somewhere because I can't open the door. Real weird. Like, the way she tried to sabotage me was really weird. And then, she would use me. That's basically what it is. She would use me to write her essays better, because I am really passionate about English. And she sucked at English. So she would send me her essays, and I would basically edit them. And if she didn't know how to write something, she would send me the videos, and I would watch them, and I would write the paragraphs for her. We have co-written several of her essays. I haven't outright written. She actually asked me if I would outright write some of them. Well, the first time she asked me, I told her, well, I don't take your class. Like, I don't know all the information that's supposed to be. Like, you're literally studying this and then writing an essay. Like, I don't know all that. Also, I didn't want to do that. Why would I be writing your essays? Be serious. Be serious. That goes beyond bestie regulations, requirements, duties. Writing your essays? You're not even that good of a friend to me. I think deep down I knew that at the time. And my funny thing is, my mom, my sister, and then when that guy became my boyfriend, all hated her. All hated Barbie. Oh, I lie. My mom kind of switched back and forth. But my sister and my boyfriend at the time, they hated her. My sister still does. Anyway, so then, back to, she starts spending and talking to me less, 23, and I start spending more time with my boyfriend. And we have a falling out because it's my birthday. You know what? This is probably why I've been thinking about it. My birthday's coming up too. That's probably why I've been thinking about it. It's my birthday, and I'm like, hey, we're gonna do this for my birthday. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna try and come, but I lie. Let's back up a little bit. This is before I even had the boyfriend. This is the year prior to that. I haven't even met this guy, I don't think. Maybe I did. I don't remember. It's my birthday. I'm in New Orleans. And she doesn't wish me happy birthday. That's a big, like, oh, my birthday? Birthdays are important to me, okay? But my birthday is, like, the most important thing to me. Well, one of them. So then, she doesn't wish me happy birthday. My mom even has her phone number for some reason. I don't even remember why she had it. She takes a picture of me, and she says, like, something celebrating her birthday, and sends it to her. Because I was like, she doesn't wish me happy birthday. And then she responds to her, oh, she looks so cute. And still nothing. And I don't actually remember if she ever did wish me happy birthday that day, but to be fair, that day was chaotic. Which is another story time. If y'all want to hear about my time in New Orleans during Mardi Gras, I will let you know. I'll tell that story. But anyway, this video is getting really long, but it's a long story. And I'm cutting parts out of it. So then, this next year, right? She doesn't wish me happy birthday. Okay, I lied. She doesn't wish me happy birthday. And then she doesn't show up. She said, yeah, I'm gonna try to show up. And then she didn't. She didn't show up. And then we even went to a second location. And she still didn't show up. And I waited until, I think, like, a little past midnight. So it's not even my birthday anymore. And she never wished me happy birthday. She never wished me happy birthday. So, I break up with her, essentially. And I told her that was just unacceptable. That was just unacceptable. That was insane. That I don't see her. She doesn't talk to me. And then she doesn't even wish me happy birthday. Knowing how much I care about my birthday. So, we kind of had a back and forth a little bit. Paragraphs, and paragraphs. And I basically told her, like, no, you have a fucking problem because you don't wish me happy birthday, I don't talk to you, and another big thing about her is she would make plans with me and then not show up. She's supposed to pick me up. So I'm getting ready, canceling other plans. My family wants to do something. I'm like, oh no, I can't. I'm doing this. And then she would never show up. And then we wouldn't talk about it. Because I was just like, I'll just let it slide, I'll let it slide, I'll let it slide. It happened so many times that I finally just exploded on her in this point. And I wish I had the messages. I don't have them anymore. But I just really, cause that was such a big thing. Like, I just felt like she was being nice to me. But she didn't really want to hang out with me. I was just like the person that was there. That's really how I felt. And the person that would help her get higher grades in her classes. Hate that feeling. So, now I guess I felt so bold because I had someone to replace her, i.e. my boyfriend at the time. Maybe that's why I really blew up on her, because I was like, you know what? If you leave me, it doesn't matter because I have someone else. What's it say about me? I don't know. I don't really care. But anyway, so then she wants to reconcile. I don't remember how long after, but I was like, you know what? Fine, we can reconcile. And we kind of reconcile a little bit. She denies, because she said to me, because I don't have an iPhone, I have an Android. She said to me that she called me on my birthday and spoke to me. I feel like I would have remembered that. So she sent me a screenshot. And I'm looking at this screenshot and I'm like, that doesn't look like the call connected. It looks like the call didn't even go all the way through, and I don't have a voicemail. And I didn't talk to her. So I asked my boyfriend, who had an iPhone, to pull up his call history. Which is, I'm sure he would really thought I was going for something else. But I'm looking through his stuff, because I even looked it up, right? And I was just like, let me just get proof. I'm looking through his stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is connected, this is rejected, this is not connected. So I told her that. And she swore that she spoke to me. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You didn't talk to me. But at the time, I really wanted my best friend back, so I just let it go. And I let a lot of things go, because I didn't have the proof to back up what I was thinking, and it wasn't a hill I was willing to die on. So I let all of that go. I just let, like, everything I just told you, I let it all go. And then the same things kind of just started happening again. Except she has surgery now. So she's not, like, making plans with me and then, like, canceling them or not canceling them and just still not showing up anymore, because she can't really go anywhere. But she's not talking to me either. And then we just stopped talking. Which really sucks because, like, I tried so hard to be a good friend, to think that I was the issue, I was the problem. And yeah, I have issues and I have problems, but like, yeah, this was not one of them. This really was her, and this happened a few years ago. And it only, I think, last year did I realize she was a bad friend to me. She was a bad friend to me. And there is also something I didn't really want to get into, but I guess I'll get into it. 30-30. There was a time when I was working a lot with this coworker that we became friends. He was even like dropping me off after work because we got off at the same time. But then he wanted to start picking me up to go to work because we would go to work at the same time, and then we would hang out with each other. And he didn't have any friends, and I only had Barbie, and she was always busy. So would hang out solo. And he's straight. I'm a girl. So at a point in time, he decides to like ask me out, which is a completely different story. I am shortening this story. Him himself was during my nice girl era, and 3113. That is actually just a whole other story. That I'm shortening for you. And we go on a date. It didn't work out, yada yada. But we stayed friends. Well, when she ends up telling me, hey, this is before her boyfriend was her boyfriend. 3131. And this is actually before I even met my boyfriend from the time. My ex now. And I'm telling her that, like, okay, he likes me, but, like, I don't like him. Like, I don't like him. And so she knows. And so then she's like, hey, why don't this so-and-so, who is now her fiance, I think. I'm pretty sure I saw her still wearing her ring. I still follow her on Instagram. I still watch her videos. No, I'm sorry. I still watch her posts. Because I am curious how she's doing, but it's purely curiosity. It's purely curiosity. I want to see when she gets married, because I'm also curious if she'll invite me. I was supposed to be her maid of honor. I was supposed to help her plan things. And she was, like, telling me what to do. Like, I was ready. Wonder what she can do about that now. Anyway, so then she calls me up and she's like, hey, why don't you invite so-and-so, who was the guy that I was working with, because my roommate invited me out to dinner at my favorite restaurant, and I don't want him to think it's a date. And I was like, okay. So I get why she invited me. I am a professional third wheeler. I love third wheeling because y'all are doing whatever you're doing and I'm hanging out. And so I was like, cool. And I was like, why don't
I didn't realize the audio cuts out here, but basically, I was like, why do I have to invite him? Why can't I just go by myself? I don't want to invite him out.
I don't want to invite this man out. And she's like, no, please just invite him because I don't want him to think some type of way. And I was like, okay, weirdo. And so I do. I invite that man to a restaurant. 3333. And he picks me up, whatever, right? And then I'm gonna chop up this story because I would like to tell the story in detail, but oh, my phone's gonna die. So then we're at the dinner, whatever. I'm so uncomfortable, yada yada yada. And then I was like, my one refuge was like, I'm gonna just spend the night at her house. So like, it's gonna be fine. I can spend the night at her house, and I can tell her about why this was not cool. Why I even let it slide is beyond me. Because I told her this man makes me uncomfortable, but like, we're still friends. And like, I don't know. It was during my nice girl era, which is a whole, like I've said several times, it's a whole separate video. And so then she decides, okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna, when we're done, 34, I'm going to go to her house, spend the night, we'll decompress, and I'll be good. She'll never do this again. She invites him over. And by she invites him over, I mean her date, her roommate, invites him over, and he asks her for permission. And she says yes. I'm looking at her like, say no. And she says yes. This is when I realized this girl is not my friend. She's the type that would rather be nice than protect me. Weird. So she then, I'm like, I'm gonna off myself. Why would you do that? I am very clearly uncomfortable. It's already been called out how uncomfortable I am. I'm already this close to exploding on everybody at this fucking table. And you invite him over. Okay. So we go, whatever. I'm sorry, this is so funny to me. Um, I'm actually not gonna get into that. But there's a point where she wants to start dancing, and she says, "Oh, I'll dance with so and so. No, I'll dance with her roommate. You dance with so and so." I think even before then, even after we got to her house, I was trying to explain to her that I don't like this man. I don't like this man. Like, I don't like him romantically. Like, we're friends, but like, I don't like him romantically. And then she does this. And I was about to fight this man because he was making me so uncomfortable. Um, that's another story. Well, that's, yeah. And so then she decides, never mind, I'll dance with so and so, you dance with the roommate.
And I think the reason why she even proposed that we dance together is because she thought that I was also in denial and that I actually did like him. Because which is weird because I as long as she had known me, I had been the type to say what it is. Like, if I'm uncomfortable, I tell you so. If I like somebody, I'll tell you so. If I don't like somebody, I'll let you know. And I truly believe she thought that I just didn't know that I liked him or I was too afraid to like him, which is whack. Very whack. Also, she liked her roommate at the time, but she had a boyfriend, and she.
So I dance with the roommate, and I'm fuming. I'm fuming. Because I'm like, this girl, there's something off about this girl. Something off about her. And really, I should have dropped her then. I should have dropped her then. I didn't, obviously. But, oh, just that moment, that sits with me. That sits with me. Because I'm like, I told you that I don't like him. Why are you trying to make romantic opportunities? Whose friend are you? He did help her move from her other house, though, so I wonder if in her head she owed him one, but I'm your best friend. You owe me everything. If you owe him one, you owe me everything. Like, what? And yeah, we just stopped talking, and the reason we stopped talking is because I stopped messaging her. She wasn't messaging back. Um, I just stopped messaging her, and she never tried to reach out. So, that's the story of the worst best friend I've ever had. Well, a condensed version of it. Honestly, it's a bit crazy. I think about it now and I'm like, wow, I let so many things slide. And maybe because in my head it was the first time it ever happened. So I think part of me was letting it slide for the plot, and I feel like the other part of me was like, well, that's my best friend. She obviously has my best interest at heart. She did not. Did she ever get me into any real trouble? No. And one more thing I want to add in here is that she had another friend, right? And there's two things I want to add in here actually. There was a time where she was saying, yeah, um, we're gonna call her Cotton Ball. Cotton Ball invited me to this pool party, but like I don't want to go because she's gonna like go like it's all her friends, so she's gonna go off and leave me alone. And I was like, okay, well, ask her if you can invite me, and I'll hang out with you all night. She's like, oh, well, I don't really know if I want to go. And I was like, okay, well, if you do go, this is also during the time that I had told her like I want to go out more, I want to go to parties, I want to go do things, and she was like, yeah, like if I go, I'll let you know. I said, okay, cool. Tell me why the next day she calls me up and she's like, I had the worst time last night. And I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? She went to the pool party. She got left alone. She was very awkward, very uncomfortable. And in my head, I'm like I said earlier, why are you telling me this? You told me that you would take me with you if you went, and then you went without me. And not only that, I didn't even have to find that out because there was no way I was gonna find that out. She tells me this. Like I was supposed to just be fine with it. And I acted fine with it, but who does that? Why would you do that? And a different time is when Cotton Ball had a birthday party, and I had just met Cotton Ball. I did like Cotton Ball before, based on what she had said about her, 3939. But Cotton Ball has a birthday party. I'm over at her house. She picks me up, right? I'm over at her house, getting ready for it. And then she had some family drama, and she is still getting ready, right? Because she's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to go because now I have to deal with this family drama. And I was like, okay. But she continues to get ready, right? So I continue to get ready. And then she's like, well, I get in the car, and she's like, take your bag. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, yeah, I'm just going to take you home. I was like, okay. She's like, yeah, I'm going to deal with this family drama, and then I'll pick you up after. If I have time. And I said, okay, cool, no problem. Like, yeah, you go deal with your family drama. Tell me why she called me up the next day to tell me about the birthday drama with Cotton Ball that she got into. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? Well, she went to the party without me. She watched me get ready knowing she wasn't going to take me to the party. And then took me home. And then called me up to tell me about the party. And how wild it was. And so I asked her, I was like, oh, why didn't you said you weren't going to go? And she's like, oh, yeah, but I was designated driver, so I went to go pick them up. And her story doesn't even line up because she starts talking about all these shots she did. I'm like, oh, designated driver that went to go just pick them up, but you did shots? And didn't leave for another hour? I don't know, I just think that's very weird. Like, it really felt like she didn't really want to be my friend. Now I think about it. Now that I'm thinking about it, it really does feel like she didn't really want to be my friend. Which, I think in her head, she probably thought she was doing a good deed. Because I have a hard time making friends. I have a hard personality. I'm pretty honest. I'm not approachable, as I mentioned. So I have a hard time making friends. And it really feels like in her head she was doing charity. And she was just being nice to me. And I hate that feeling. I don't necessarily hate her, but I don't like her. I would love to be invited to her wedding. But yeah. That's I think I'm done talking about her, actually. I've talked about her for nearly an hour now. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time, and you'll see me in the next one. Bye.